It wasn't a week off. It's a week of good training. The buys are always an interesting one. It's whether it's good to have them or not. But for us, we used it. We had obviously guys who haven't had the proper pre-season, so good training week, and now we're raring to go for the Roar.
It is. I think one of the first buys you guys have had this year. Did it come at a good time, considering there has been a lot of football over the past 2 or 3 months?
It's tough to say that one. I mean, I think I would have preferred that the games are spread out evenly throughout the season. We've got all the buys and all that at the back end of the season, so I wouldn't have wished it that way. Just more even, spread out. So because after this game we've got another 2 weeks, another international week, and then we've got another buy. So I wouldn't have liked it so condensed in terms of the buys being all together, but it is what it is. We used the week to work hard, and now we're ready for the next game.
There's also obviously a pretty big game within the context of the season. No one wants to win the wooden spoon. I'm sure it's not something you guys have maybe discussed internally, but do you is there a kind of realisation within the squad of how big this game is?
We don't talk about that at all. Every game we want to go to win. We approach this as the same when we played them over there. There was no discussion about any sort of extra emphasis on the game. They're in a similar position to us. I think they've been playing much better than the results have suggested, and I believe in the last 8, 9, 10 weeks has been a similar situation for us. So we're in the same boat there. You see other teams that maybe had a little bit of a they got results early on and now are struggling, whereas we're performing better, not getting the results. So we're both in the same situation there, and apart from that, we approach it as every game we want to win every game.
How important is it for the club to avoid a second wooden spoon in a row?
I think it's just important for our club to keep progressing, and that means the work that we've done in the January window, the work that we're continuing to do in the background, and obviously the focus is results, and that's normal. So the importance for us is to win as many games as we can in the final 6, prepare for a cup match, which is now at the end of the season as well, and make sure that we continue to show that we are performing better, and that we're changing the squad, we're changing the club, and the performances are there. But with the performances, we want results.
In terms of fitness, you get a few of the young Socceroos boys back. Jalen Pearman, Adam Bagara, have they a chance to feature?
Yeah, they've all come back. Obviously, they're on a high. That's great for not only them but for Australian football. We haven't done that in a long time. That kind of performance. So that was great. And the boys have come back with that attitude. They're very positive. They look good. They look confident, and all will be in the running to feature in this game.
Are there any injury concerns ahead of this week? How's Mordicu pulled up?
He's training again, so he's looking good. So with the boys coming back, we've got a outside of Riz who's suspended. Everybody's available for selection.
You mentioned it earlier, but obviously, there's 6 games left. You're 11 points off the tally last year. I know it's a completely different squad to the one that was here last year, but you've talked about progression. How important is it to finish the season strongly and get a few wins late?
Yeah, I mean, it's you go back 10 weeks ago when we had that West United game. I mean, that process started there, and the performance. We talk about performance, but we were winning in injury time, and so it's just the performance has been there, the results haven't been there. But the last 6 games is win. We want to win all the games. It's been no different to when Melbourne Victory were here. We thought we should have beaten them, and Central Coast Mariners, we know that game. It's like there are games there that we know we should have won, but we have to keep working hard to turn those performances into win, turn those chances into goals. But we have to keep creating those chances. We have to keep performing at the good level that we have been, and I think the guys understand that, and the training week has showed that.
What's the status of Andrew Libby as well? Is he still nursing that knee injury?
Yeah, so he had a minor clean out, and he's come back, and he's now running again. But that's a process, so we're not going to rush it. That's for sure. It was a real shame that he was flying really when he was playing, and it was unfortunate, but he's a young kid. We need to look after him, and we'll take the steps we need to. If he can play some games towards the end, that'll be great. But we're going to take it day by day.
David, you mentioned Brisbane's performances have been improving, even if the results haven't. What sort of game are you expecting on Saturday? Where will it be won and lost, do you feel?
Yeah, I think both teams, mentally, I think we're both going to be prepared for the game. I mean, it's going to be, it's always a tough one to know exactly how it's going to pan out. But they've added new players, which gives them pace in behind, which maybe they were lacking a little bit before. But they're a build-up team, so they like to build up. They've changed their structure a little bit, and they've added players that like to get forward and go in behind. So there's, it could be a game where we see, it can get stretched at times, but yeah, hopefully for us we're able to control it and and continue the performances that we've showed at home and use that to our advantage.